The Z-Stacks were laying a trap for him.
10 cents. Have you seen Big Mac?
No, is there a problem? Yeah, there you are. Big Mac, what's happened?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, hello Team Zug, and today we're back with... Hang on. Oh, there we go. Anyways, we're back with another video. This time we're taking a look at Big Mac. So, let's begin. So, last time I showed you my custom OJ model. Yep. Now, here's Big Mac. Now, what is Big Mac this time? Well, we're not talking about the McDonald's food, we're talking about the character Big Mac from Tugs. So yeah. So after before I left on holiday, I asked people who they like me to make when I get back. Well, after I meet OJ. And Big Mac, there was no competition. Everyone wanted Big Mac, and if the people wanted Big Mac, it was Big Mac they got. Yeah, Warrior was close. He was had a few votes, like maybe a few votes less. I mean, Hercules was beating him, but now people wanted Warrior, and I kind of understand why. But anyways, here's Big Mac. Now, this model was actually a not easy one to make. Now, let's start with the things I'm proud of. First up, the paintwork. You could tell I actually went all out with Big Mac. The paintwork is actually really good. Another thing what I really like is his face. This is his face. I used the smile content face that he had instead of his big smiley faces, because one, I just want to make my Tugs faces, you know, a little bit more simple, because I am not really good expert at actual faces, so that's what I did. Now, I also improved on his how the head would move, because unlike what I did with OJ, for example, if I just take him, I put his stick, his blue tack, his stick, and put it in the head. Now, what is wrong with that? Well, every time OJ moves, if I just like move him around, like if I'm trying to put him out, sometimes he'll jiggle, and when I was making one of his Tug scenes, his head's like sometimes like to fall off. Like for example, if I just like move him alongside, that would happen. So yeah. And I kind of glued it, but yeah, I better be a little bit careful with that. So that's a little tip I just had to make out. So if you are new to Tug modeling, use this method instead. Trust me, it'll help a lot. Now then. Now, another thing is his stack. Sometimes it likes to tilt a little bit to that angle, so I always have to like move it around. Because remember, they're not glued properly. I mean, they're not really glued at all. It's just a little toothpick thing. But I can't really take it out. So yeah. The detail is sort of interesting, because Big Mac has a ladder, and normally characters with ladders like Top Hat, I couldn't add it. But since Big Mac was actually drawn on, it was a little bit more easy to do. Now, you might ask, why does Big Mac have like silver windows, whilst characters like 10 Cents and Top Hat have the brown ones? Oh, sorry. Well, I was using this reference photo from some guy on DeviantArt for the reference of Big Mac. And yeah. And his model of Big Mac, like his sprite of Big Mac, I think that's what it's called. His windows were a bit silver grayish, so I didn't really realize it. But it matches with his windows over here. So I thought, why not? And since takes place in 1,000 years later, I probably assume Big Mac probably got new windows later, honestly, during his life. So you could actually excuse me for that. This model isn't really perfect because you could see a little bit there. There's a little bit of the black spots. In fact, the reason I did that is because I sometimes have paint on my fingers, and this normally happens. Oh yes, and now you might be wondering, why is Big Mac's hat paint isn't really perfect? Well, the reason for that is the paint was kind of like a little watery-ish situation, but I managed to do what I got to do. It turned out alright in the end. Now, his hat is actually two separate pieces. It's glued on, so I can't take it off. But this is actually the prototype head and the hat. The original hat was terrible, so I had to redo it, and I actually like it. The end result. As for his head was not the best shape, to say the least. So I was trying to I used a knife to cut a little bit edges, but it just snapped off entirely. So I thought, I just made a brand new one from scratch. The way I did it is that I combined one piece of clay to the other and glued it on. It was actually a really good decision on my part. So, yeah. I would have had this model finished by yesterday, but I was out all day until midnight. And when I go home, it was 2 minutes after midnight, so I just finished them up. And this morning, I just finished them up for good, glued all the bits together. And yeah, it was actually good. Now, the railings ain't perfect, but who cares? It looks great to me. And we're done. That is how I showed you how I made Big Mac. He's probably my favorite model in the collection so far, to be honest. Now then, subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down in the comment section below, or go to my community post. Who would you like me to make next out of the original Starfleet? Except for Grampus. You could choose either Warrior or Hercules. Now, when I put the community post, a lot of people really wanted me to make Hercules, so I think he might be next. So, yeah. So I think Hercules might be the next one to be made. This is Team Zug signing out. Peace out, and I hope you have a good day.